Ever since the first trailer for Assassin's Creed Shadows dropped, it's been getting a lot of pushback. First, we saw the huge like to dislike ratio on the official Ubisoft page, and any subsequent video that Ubisoft has released in relation to this game has also been getting a lot of pushback and a huge ratio for it. Lots of comments just ragging on it. And then in recent weeks, we saw more bad news where Asian players are saying that they want to have the game banned or otherwise altered. A Japanese politician came out and said that he wanted to have the game pulled because of what he called cultural theft, or I'm sorry, he wanted to have the game investigated and then pulled for cultural theft. Now, I'm not the most up to date when it comes to Japanese politics, so I don't know if this particular individual is someone of prominence or if he is just some random politician who has no power whatsoever. But still, I do find it kind of interesting. This is the discord surrounding a game like this because ultimately, and I say this with as nice as I can, it's just a dumb game. It's not meant to be taken too seriously, but it is kind of funny that people defending this game are trying to defend it by saying like this almost the same thing, that it's a game, it's not supposed to be historically accurate. The Assassin's Creed games haven't been historically accurate in the past. And yes, that's true. But then they're also trying to talk out of the other side of their mouth by saying, but Yasuke is actually based off of a real Japanese samurai, which he wasn't, but still they try to maintain that. So it's kind of funny hearing that surrounding this game. But a lot of people are, yes, they're upset because they're almost trying to do that same thing where they're saying like it's not supposed to be historically accurate, but then trying to say things that are blatantly not actually part of Japanese history are part of Japanese history. And that's where you're getting, I think, most of this pushback because it does seem kind of disrespectful towards Asians and particularly Japanese people. And is this really going to matter? Time will ultimately tell because it's still an Assassin's Creed game. So maybe the game will actually do well. Some people are saying pre-orders are successful for it. I've tried looking into those claims and didn't really see anything outside of just some insiders are saying it's doing good, but we don't have any numbers to go by. So we'll have to wait and see whether that's true. But one thing is for sure, this new information coming out about the game at a booth in a Japanese con made it look like the game is not really that popular. A report claims that Ubisoft booth at Japan Expo for Assassin's Creed Shadows received sparse traffic throughout the weekend. Ex-user RC166 shared photos from the convention on July 12th and commented, the booths were crowded, but the Assassin's Creed Shadow booth was, as you can see, the chairs were used as resting spots. I wonder if the French are angry too. And this is kind of the pictures they shared. And let me just preface this by saying this is just a random person posting photos and this is what they're saying. So you can take it with a pinch of salt, but I do find it kind of interesting though, because the photos don't lie. There's not a whole lot of people in these chairs, and maybe it is possible this is between something that they were having presentation or doing something there. And this is between that. So there's not a lot of people at this time. I could grant that premise, but let's continue. Former World of Warcraft team lead Mark Kern, aka Grums, would react to the post and share more information from his sources on the ground. First, he stated that bad news and outright awful mistakes Ubisoft is making are just piling up. There is more than what I can post in a day. The Assassin's Creed booth was empty at Japan Expo. Compared to other crowded booths, even the French don't seem to be excited for this game. Okay, I think he's just kind of reiterating what this individual is saying, and because he was just sharing the same posts. On July 14th, he added, just got a report from someone at Japan Expo. Ubisoft staff are asking that anyone using the seats at the Assassin's Creed Shadows booth to turn around and face their screens. People are using them as benches to watch the much more popular Nintendo booth across the way. Nobody cares about Ubisoft. And here are those photos that Grums was sharing. As you can see, here's the Assassin's Creed booth right here. And this is the Nintendo one. So these are the benches. You can see some people are looking at the Assassin's Creed one. Other people are just kind of using it as a seat. Other people turned around looking at the Nintendo screen there. To be fair, though, you can see Nintendo has a pretty big booth. The Assassin's Creed booth is kind of small. So Obviously this wouldn't get much attention, but I can see this being a case where it's just kind of used as like people are using it. This used like benches, but there's a screen there playing Assassin's Creed stuff, and it's decorated in I guess a faux Japanese way. You got the lanterns here, you got the sakuras. So maybe it's like, yeah, they're just trying to set up a little rest spot like that, but it has Assassin's Creed thing. I think that's fine if that is what they're doing, but if the people working at this booth are telling people like, if you're going to sit here, then watch our screen, well, then to me that seems kind of funny, because I don't know why they would be trying to entice people to watch their screen, especially when it's talking about in this article, another shot of the Assassin's Creed Shadows booth. They are showing exclusive gameplay, but it's the same video that already posted in YouTube. If they stay till the very end, Ubisoft gives you a bag of goodies. I'm not sure what this particular bag of goodies entails. They don't actually say here, but I don't know why the people working at the booth would care if people are actually sitting there and watching it to the very end, because like, what's the point? I would kind of like to know more confirmation or more details about why that's the case, because it seems kind of strange. It's not like it's a talk or whatever. It's not like they have like a panel or anything like that where they don't want people walking in and out of it. I mean, this is just something set up on the floor so people can just come by and just, like I said, just sit down at this bench if they want to, and there's playing Assassin's Creed stuff and it's decorated in their manner if they. So I mean, it's advertising in that way, so I don't know why they would be saying like you need to stick around and watch to the very end and we'll give you something as a result of it. And I can't imagine it's going to be that good. This tweet, the official Assassin's Creed France account on X had previously promised that the booth would give potential players an immersive experience when it initially promoted it back on July 11th. And like I was pointing out, they're trying to just decorate it in a faux Japanese style. It's like, okay, yeah, whatever. I mean, that's fine if that's what you want to do, but I wouldn't necessarily refer to it as an immersive experience. One thing people have pointed out with these photos that they were using in this post is that the sword that's being used is actually a sword that's used by Zoro, and it's just kind of like a cheap wall hanger type sword that you can buy. And I don't really have a problem with that, because whoever's managing their social media accounts probably just looking for pictures or whatever and just gathering that stuff together just so they can. I mean, it's basically just like stock photo stuff that they're trying to use, and it just happened to be something that was a little bit more prominent. So that's kind of funny, but I don't think that's a big deal. All it really does show is that they're just kind of being cheap when it comes to marketing. But the reaction that we're seeing from a lot of people who don't really seem to be giving it the time of day, it could be the indicator that at least when it comes to Japanese people, they're just kind of done with this sort of thing, or they just don't care enough about it. Or maybe, like I've said before, might just be kind of catching them at a bad time or whatever, because there's really not a whole lot for them to show at this point. So maybe people aren't interested. Maybe if they had like a closed off booth or something like that, or if they had a panel and they were showing like more new footage, exclusive footage from that, then I don't know, maybe it would have had a better reception. But this right here isn't really indicator that the game's necessarily going to be bad, but it's also not necessarily a good sign for it either. But let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Do you think people are just tired of the Assassin's Creed franchise, or do you think the game's still going to be successful? And also, if you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with the latest entertainment news. And don't forget to click that like button and share the video, because it helps out with the channel. Thank you.